fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
How you can change someone's life in 20 seconds or less. Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds, Salt Strong, Unchurched. We're back again. This is going to be a powerful one. And it's so neat because yes, you really can change someone's life in 20 seconds or less. This is something that has no cap on it, meaning there's no ceiling. You do it as many times as you want to, and you can impact as many people as you want to with no ceiling whatsoever. And in fact, there's even ways that you can truly bring healing to someone else and perhaps even save someone's life. Pretty powerful stuff. And so let me tell you a story that happened to me back in high school. So I was always a nice person. My parents taught me just be nice. You never know was what they would always say, meaning you never know how you will end up knowing this person in the future. They could end up being the president of the country. They might be a senator or congressman. They might be your boss one day. Might as well be nice to them now. You just never know. And that stuck with me. And so I was never a perfect kid by any stretch of the imagination. I'm certain, I'm 100% certain I picked on people for one phase of my life. But in high school, I didn't. I actually was genuinely nice to everyone I could. That was when that message really stuck with me. 6th, 7th, 8th grade, maybe not as much. But when I was in high school, this is a great lesson for any of you younger people listening, or a great lesson for some of you parents who have kids who are going to high school. That same message stuck with me so much about you never know that you might be working with this person or working for this person. So I was just overly and generously nice to everyone I could be. And if I knew their name, I would say hi to them. And if I passed them in the hallway, I would say hi to them. So there's this one guy, I'm not going to name his name, because some people listening might know part of the story, but I was not friends with this person. Let me just put this on the record. I was not friends with this person, but I knew who they were, right? So I knew their first name and last name, but I was not friends with them. I didn't play sports with them, didn't hang out with them, never went to their house to hang out. Not someone I would hang out with after school, but I knew this person, just to kind of give you perspective here. And anytime I would pass this person in the hallway, I would literally just say hi. That was it. I had put a big smile on, and I genuinely was interested in saying hi to this person. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, what's up? It was like, hey man, how's it going? And that would be it. Like, it would literally be me saying that and then passing. Like, that was the majority of our interaction. I might have had a class with this person. I can't even remember that, just to kind of give you an idea. Like, might have had 1 or 2 classes throughout high school with this person where I would have just, once again, just been nice, but not hanging out with them, not spending extra time with them, just being nice and just saying hi. Well, this said person ends up doing something very dumb and illegal and in college, and to the point went to prison for quite some time. And one of our friends went to go visit him. And this is like something he could be in prison for the rest of his life. It was obviously a very big deal. And our friend went to go visit and to catch up. And she ended up just, I'm not sure how the whole conversation went, but she ended up, just some small talk and, hey, how things are going. And, anyone you want me to say something to that I might run into. And he says, this is a dude who I went to high school with, not friends with, just was nice to, and now is in prison. And he says, I've been thinking about Joe Simons a lot while I'm here in prison. And I'm hearing this for the first time. I was like, oh boy, this guy wants to kill me when he gets out or something. I was mean to him. I like that. That was my first thought when she's telling me, because I ran into her and she's telling me the story. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's he's gonna come after me if he gets out of prison. And she's like, no, he goes, no, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about Joe Simons, and he was one of the nicest people ever to me in high school. And when I get out, I want to change my life. And I want to be a little bit more like him, and just tell him thank you for being so incredibly nice to me. It's something I've been thinking about a lot in prison. And I'm sitting, I was about to cry. I was like, what? Like, that's crazy. I just remember saying hi to him a few times. And so if you're trying to put two and two together here, It's the power of words, just the power of being nice to someone. I've got multiple friends who have told me they've reached out to someone who they just had an inkling that something bad was going on in their life. And they just reached out to say, hey, I'm thinking about you and let's hang out together. And then to find out later they were about to commit suicide. And that one phone call or that one text literally saved that person's life. They thought no one cared about them, no one's interested in literally just the act of someone reaching out and saying, hey, I hadn't talked to you, I'm just checking in on you, literally saved that person's life. And they did not commit suicide. They didn't go through, all because of that last minute timely phone call. Wow, I mean, the power of just a hello at the right time, right? This guy's thinking about me. I hadn't seen him in 5 years. I mean, this was his last year in college when all this stuff happened, and then fast forward, it was a couple years in his prison life. This is someone I not even thought about or interacted with in 7-8 years, and he's thinking about me, all from just being nice and saying hi. The power of just kind words and a smile. And another really neat example, I had a buddy that was now a college buddy, and I had not seen him in 6 or 7 years. This just happened pretty recently. And I heard he was going through divorce and had a couple daughters around the same age as mine. And I was like, oh gosh, that's horrible. And it's weird too, because and shame on us for like feeling weird or bad to call someone who you hadn't seen or spoken to in a while. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to text him. So it was a Friday night, and I just sent him a text, and I said, hey, and I won't say his name, but I said, hey, buddy, just thinking about you. I heard about the divorce. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I heard about the divorce. And man, I'm just really sorry. And I'm praying over you. If I can do anything, let me know. But more than anything, I'm just thinking about you. And that was it. It's amazing when you tell someone you're just thinking about them. The power of just saying that. So he did write me back, and he's like, dude, this made my day. Thank you so much. And that was kind of it. And then a couple weeks later, he sends me another message, and he says, hey, Joe, I just want to tell you how much that text a couple weekends ago meant to me. And he's like, you've been on my mind a lot. And I knew at some point I was supposed to read your book, Fishing for Happiness. I'd heard someone talking about it, and I meant to buy it. And he's like, that ended up spurring me to buy it. I just read the whole thing this past week, and it's literally like completely changing the direction of my life and which way I was going. I was like, wow, all because I sent him a text on a Friday night, probably while I was sitting there having a beer. I don't even remember the whole, right? It was that irrelevant. And I know Joel Osteen in his podcast was talking about, that's something that now that he does is he'll just sit there if he's got a Friday or Saturday night where he's kind of just caught up and maybe they're watching TV, he'll just start shooting text off to people, just to random people that pop into his mind that he hasn't talked to in a long time. And that's that, like, all he says is that, hey, you know what? I just been thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. And it's amazing the power that has on someone. And in some cases, I mean, he had some stories where there's some massive healing going on just because the power of some words that someone said, even if it's just believing in them. I mean, this is kind of a funny one too, but it's so true. My parents were really good about telling us, myself and my brothers, that we could do anything and that we were good at stuff, even when we might not be yet. But it was a lot of us just so we would start believing it. And shame on my mom. She told me I was a good singer for many years, and I wasn't. But she would literally, without smirking, and I'm a horrible singer. And without even a smirk on her face, she would say, oh, you're a really good singer. Like, you keep practicing that. You could be amazing. And I believed her. But that's the power of the words. And for the longest time, I thought I was a pretty good singer until people would like, let me actually record you so you hear what you sound like. I was like, oh, man, my mom was lying to me this whole time. I'm horrible. But on the other hand, she also told me that, you know what? She goes, I think you're going to be the CEO of a big company one day. And I started believing that. And I still do to this day. And I am CEO of a pretty decent sized company today with, 20 employees. You can say big or small, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it's pretty big and it's a pretty big deal. And I get to impact a lot of people. It's pretty awesome. But I also remember this in college. I had gone through life believing my parents that, hey, I could be the CEO of a company one day, a big company. In fact, and I had this roommate named Travis, who's a very negative guy. I still love Travis to death. And he's another one that I've reached out to. And all of a sudden he'll be like, man, your timing's perfect. And Travis, he is a handful is all I'm going to say. And if you're listening, Travis, I love you, brother. But Travis, I remember I told him one day, and this is the power of words, right? So I've gone through life, through high school, now into college. I'm in my third year of college, and I'm believing that I'm going to be the CEO of a company. My parents have told me that. Why wouldn't I believe it? They've told me that many times, and I just started believing this. And I remember we were talking about what we're going to do after college, and I remember exactly where I was sitting. Is this powerful? And I said, I'm going to be the CEO of a big company. And he goes, no, you're not. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, no, you're not cut out for that. You're not going to be a CEO. And I was pissed, and I was also confused. Like, well, my mom said I could, but it's the power of words. And I still hear, I mean, it's 20 years since I went to college, and I still remember that vividly. I remember exactly where I was sitting, but I also remember my mom's words, and those trump the words of my buddy Travis. But it's also, what do you choose to believe? What are you listening to? This is the power of words, right? The power of even just a smile, or even just someone's sarcasm, or the way they look at you when you say something can literally be something that has a massive, massive impact on your life. But the beauty of it is, there's no cap on compliments, as I mentioned earlier. There's no cap or ceiling on how many times you can reach out to people, or how many times you can say something. And Joel Osteen said this, and I'll say it as well. Not once has my wife told me to stop telling her that I think she's beautiful. Not once has my wife said, stop telling me I look good in this dress, or that you love my hair today. There is no cap on compliments, and I've yet to meet someone who says, stop giving me compliments. We all love them, we cherish them, and it literally can impact our life. It builds up our self-esteem, it gets us feeling better. It's amazing what just a small compliment can do. And my mom is really, really good at that. And I've been fortunate because I've kind of learned from her and watched her as I've grown up. But it's amazing. She'll be in a group of people or be walking up to someone, and she's just looking for something to compliment. Where there might be someone else who's just looking for something to make a snarky remark. My mom is literally looking to compliment someone on something. Oh my gosh, I love those shoes. Oh, your hair looks great. Did you lose weight? I mean, and it's amazing. You see the other person light up. And everyone loves my mom. It's amazing. My mom will just say one little thing. Takes her less than 20 seconds to get a compliment out of her mouth. And then all my friends will say, oh my gosh, your mom is the nicest person ever. And it was all because she gave them a small little compliment. So my challenge to you this week is to throw out some compliments, to toss them out so generously and liberally that you think it's going out of style. You will be surprised at what happens in their lives and also in your lives. This whole reciprocity thing is massive. I believe it's universal. I believe it's a God thing. And the same as tithing or anything else, the same as giving to the poor and giving time to people who need it, to being loving and generous. It's amazing that when you do it to others, stuff starts circling back to you. That's not why you do it, but it is amazing that usually does seem to happen at some time or another. So my challenge to you is maybe reach out to someone, even from high school or college, even if it's been 50, 60 years since you have been there, someone that you're thinking about, assuming you know their number. Like my buddy, they're going through divorce. I was hoping and praying that was his right number. And thankfully it was. It had been that long. But it's amazing. The absolute worst case is someone's going to hear from you and say, hey, this is the wrong number. And you get to ignore them and move on. Or maybe you even change their life. There has been situations, I've heard stories about that, where someone reaches out to the wrong person with a message and ends up changing their life and just needed that at the right time. So worst case, maybe you change some random stranger's life, but try it out. Start handing out compliments. Start with your family. And maybe you've got a spouse or kids or mom, dad, grandparents who might just need a little bit of love and are feeling lonely right now. And it's amazing the power of just reaching out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. We all have them. We all have friends that were great friends and still are great friends. But you know what I mean when I say this is life got in the way and you just don't talk to them as much. Or maybe they moved away or you moved away. And even though things didn't get different and you would still, man, give them the biggest hug in the world if you saw them today, but things are just different. They're kind of been on the back burner for whatever reason, and life just gets in the way. stop right now and shoot him a message. It takes 20 seconds. Or give him a call, even more powerful. But just even the act now of texting, thank goodness for text messages, that literally can change someone's life. So give it a try. Reach out to someone who may or may not need it. You might not ever know, but what you will know is that you did an amazing deed, and it will leave a lasting impression. And then be like my mom, be like Susan. Mom, if you're listening, I love you. You do set a great example of just handing out compliments as you come up to someone or as you're meeting someone. Just be looking for something to compliment them on. Even the whole thing, oh my gosh, you look great. Did you lose weight? It's amazing. I remember when people tell me that. And even though I haven't, I'm like, oh man, I must look pretty slim. And someone said that recently just because I had my shirt tucked in. Oh man, you look like you slimmed up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did. Yeah, but I really didn't. I weighed the exact same as I did the last time I saw the person, maybe more. But it's so powerful, the power of words and the power of compliments. So I love you guys. You look amazing. You look great. I can't even see you right now, but I know you do. I know you have big things going on in your life. God's got big plans for you. And as I said in a prior one, I believe that's the worst thing that can happen, is that you do leave this earth not maximizing everything God gave you. He's got a plan for all of us. He's given us all special gifts. And the one thing we're all able to do, if we're still alive, there's some way we can, even like my brother Daniel, who can't walk or talk, that dude can still send out some text messages, and he's handing out compliments like it's going out of style. So if we're still living on this earth, we're allowed and probably have an endless amount of compliments and just quick little messages that, hey, I'm thinking about you. I was thinking about you, and just man, I just hope all is well. It's amazing how long or how far that will go. And guys, I love you. If you have any other suggestions or things that have worked for you or cool stories that kind of tie into this, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Joe@saltstrong.com. And I'm putting all these episodes at saltstrong.com/unchurched. So saltstrong.com/unchurched, where you can see all the past episodes. And there's a place to leave public comments there. It seems like I get mostly private emails, because I understand a lot of people want to keep their stuff private, and that's completely fine. I love hearing from you. So it's Joe@saltstrong.com or saltstrong.com/unchurched. Otherwise, I'll talk to you on the next episode. You look beautiful today. Booyah!
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.